Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It is November 29th. I can't believe that we are almost in December. Well, we could say that we're in December already of 2022. I'm already saying 2023. So how about you? Like, are you set for the new year? Because it is coming up. And it's always an amazing journey into the new year because for a lot of people, it's new beginnings. For people who are in momentum, it's okay, let's turn up the momentum, not turn it down. So I'd love to hear from you on where you are, first of all, and your mindset and going into the new year. Are you one of those people who decides to shut down like right now? And I don't mean in a bad way. If you're shutting down to take some time and be with yourself and your family and all this kind of stuff, because it's great that you don't sacrifice your life for your business. That's what I'm all about. But are you the on the other side where, you know what, I'm just going to hold off on doing all this other kind of stuff because wait for the new year for the new things to happen? And that's where a huge discussion we get into. Maybe that would be the topic for today, and forget what I was going to talk about because I'm already in this mindset now. Um, but I just find that there's a big there's a trend that happens like every single year of when people decide to shut down and not do anything and then wait for something to trigger them to start going and doing something new. And I always found I mean, I used to do that too, but I always found it for the last, I don't know, decade or so, kind of odd that why would you not start now? Like, why would you not start tomorrow? And what's the difference between December 31st and January 1st? I don't know. It's just that's kind of where my brain went today, Scott. I don't know. Like, I don't know. What do you think about this, man? And welcome, by the way. Did you freeze? I think Scott froze. Yeah, I think he froze. I think he's going to have to come back in. All right. Well, I won't ask him. So, what are your thoughts on this whole concept of waiting until a certain point to begin something new, or to change something, or to get rid of something? What are your thoughts on that? I'd love to hear from you. Hey, Collie, I think that's you, Collie. Yeah, it's got to be you. Welcome to the show. I don't see your name, but I'm gonna guess that it is you. So I'd love to know your thoughts on that. How you feel about this? Maybe Scott will rejoin us in a few seconds. And tonight is we are at episode number 148. Thank you for being here, by the way. Thank you for being here all the way through. It's almost been like 3 years since we've been doing this. And if you're here live, let us know by putting in live or hashtag live. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, just to let us know when you're watching this. And if we're doing an awesome job, let us know by giving us a thumbs up or maybe a hashtag or a like or something to that effect. It would be awesome. Yeah, I think we got Scott back. Hey, man.
Hey, all of my monitors just went black at once and I couldn't get it. So I had to reboot. I think I've had the computer on for like a week without rebooting. And that's
Okay, well that'll do it, man. Yeah, that'll do it.
yeah. And
Uh,
when you have like, 4 browsers open and tabs in each one. So my apology.
it's all good. It's all good, my friend. I don't think you heard anything that I was saying because I asked you a question regarding. Well, how much did you hear it? Did you hear anything? I won't assume.
I heard like, the first minute or two, and then I was just trying to get the monitors back, and then I rebooted. It was only gone for like a minute or so.
Yeah, it was a pretty fast reboot. I'll tell you that. Well, what
It
I was
was.
saying is that there's like two camps, right? Um, where we're going to keep on in momentum, and if we want to make a change, we're going to make it now or maybe tomorrow. And I was asking, like, what's the real difference between December 31st and January 1st? If we want to do something different. I know that for the past decade or so, even longer than that, I haven't been in that world anymore. Like, I'm gonna wait until January to do this. Or I'm gonna wait unless it's like scheduling like a cohort or something like that. That's completely different. But it's like, let's get into momentum now and do this thing now. So what are your thoughts around that? Is like, because some
I
people let me just frame it one more little aspect to this, because it is like I find a lot of people shut down. They've already shut down in terms of the business and doing anything like a week ago. It's like November 15th or so. That's it. 6 weeks to go. I'm going to wait until January. So what are your thoughts on that?
I
Bless
don't.
you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Gesundheit.
I don't. I don't ascribe to any of that pretty much, Joey. I mean, to me, I don't need somebody to tell me commercially when I should buy something or celebrate something or do something. To me, it's not about a certain time of the year that determines what and when. I'm still engaging with projects, building things. I'm developing a couple of things that, it doesn't matter to me. I don't have a December 31st or a January 31st, or that's just not me. I don't do quarters. I kind of do every day. I wake up, and if I get the opportunity in this waking period, let me make the most of it. And if I can get something out that'll help transform people now, that to me as well, it's like, oh, you really shouldn't do anything until January. But you know what? Don't bother in January because everybody is still
Yeah.
getting where and then February. But no, February is Valentine's Day, so people are doing that. So you might as well do
Well,
March.
it's the
But then
middle of the winter. It's the February blues. You know,
so
like
March is so good and St. Patrick's Day. So then wait till April. And then it's like, well, April is this. You might as well just wait till the summertime. It's
yeah.
that me, Joey. I'm different than a lot of people as far as that goes. I've kind of never really, in my whole career, there's not been if I want to take off in July or May or or I want to stop for 6 months, I'm going to do it then because that's the time,
Right.
not because and again, I'm different than most people, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
So
I hear
there
you.
you
I
go.
mean, the same here is like I don't subscribe to that anymore, except for planning. Like this has been the weirdest time for me in regards to this. This wasn't the topic I was going to talk about today anyway. Just started going down this rabbit hole, but it's been weird to me because I operate like you, and it's like whatever. I'm just going to do this tomorrow or right now, and this last 2 years, I would say I've been operating more on the calendar than I've ever in my entire life, only because of scheduling cohorts and showing up for coaching, things like that. But I would always be like, I don't live by the calendar. I still don't really live by the calendar. I'm kind of guided by it in terms of like, hey, reminder, you got this coming up. But it's been weird because I'm scheduling things in for next September already. Like, this is like I've never done this before. But because of all the things going on, it's like I have to do this or I'm gonna be scrambling too. So that's the only things that I look for. I don't know if what I'm saying if it relates at all. I mean,
I know what you're saying. So why
I,
start now?
I don't.
No,
Yeah, it's
really,
not that I'm waiting for that. It's more scheduling than waiting to do something.
well, you and I had a conversation a few months back when you were talking about, okay, if I'm going to do this number of cohorts and this, and how much time do I want to take off in between them? And how
Hmm.
many weeks are there in a year? And that's kind of how you were playing it. And that makes sense if
Hmm.
you're scheduling a launch or a whatever it is. If you're launching a cohort, if you're launching a program,
Hmm.
whatever it is, then it's like this is when it's happening to get ready for it. You're in the middle of Atlas and you're going to do another Atlas. And that, from a calendar standpoint, makes sense. I know that our dream clients, their problems don't go away because it's a certain time of year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like if
And
you're gonna schedule, if you're gonna change something or get rid of something, then do it like right now. Here's a perfect example of this, and I guess this will be the topic tonight. So, but it was when it was
wait,
when
it's
I
not
learned. Sorry,
the topic isn't what we planned.
no,
Uh,
there was. I had an
yeah,
idea of what to talk about tonight. Maybe we'll get to it.
fine then. Hold on. Okay, I'm ready.
A perfect example of this was when I started Profit First. That was 2016, somewhere around there. And I read the book, and that operates on quarters, right? It's like do this and then take a profit thingy. Anyway, it's based on quarters, but it's also
Right.
based on the 10th and the 25th and blah blah blah. Um, and I remember I was it was around November, like around now, to where I finished the book. And I'm like, okay, well, there's I'm gonna maybe wait until January to start this because it's like quarters. But then I'm like, no, like, because there's going to be zero profit or like a penny that I
Yeah.
take on this quarter or the current quarters, right? And that's what I did. I just started right then and there, and I think I took $2 out of as a profit of the company, but it was just getting into the habit, and it wasn't me. I'm not taking credit for that because even in Mike's book, he says that. He says, "You know what? Don't do that. Start right now, and even if it's a dollar, take it." And so he is, I guess he subscribes to the same type of stuff we're talking about here.
Well, Joey, it's the same thing with fitness and weight loss and nutrition and exercise. It's like, okay, I know I got to lose some weight, or I know I got to start exercising. How about I wait
Right.
until the new year when after this and that and that, and let me go crazy and let me gorge and let me gain 12, 15 more pounds before I start doing it. And that is a mindset that
Yeah.
I believe spreads into everything.
Yeah.
It's let me let me binge and first and then let me do all the bad stuff before I start the good stuff. And I think that's a mindset that we've gotten used to, society has, instead of, okay, how about we start it today?
Yeah, exactly right. Let's give some shouts to Collie. Do you want to read that when it
Sure,
comes up there?
it's Kali here. I do not take off for the holidays until the night before Christmas and Christmas. I am the cook, so that day is not off, and then continue on the next day. But I do take days in between Christmas and New Year to skate with my granddaughter. Love and soul hugs. And hi, Scott. Nice. You are unthawed. Yes, I am. Uh, actually, I was in the hot room, so I'm cooling. Uh,
And by the way, we're not talking about vacations or taking time off or anything like that. That's not what we're talking about. It's more of the decision to do something or to not do something anymore. That's basically what it is. And I encourage every one of you to take as much time off. It's building for a better future. As a matter of fact, even on today's coaching, I was talking to my group, and in the last 6 weeks, I've been strategically committed, and which other people might look at it as sacrificing my life because I've been up more than I ever have been in a little while, like 3 a.m. mornings, a lot of 3 a.m. mornings, just working on, gathering data, putting it into databases, things like that. So it makes my future better. So
right.
I'm strategically sacrificing or committing, I should say, strategically committing to doing this work now to make my life better so I can have more free time. So I'm buying future free time, which
Yeah,
is
and Joey, you said vacations. This isn't about. It's not
no.
like, okay, if you plan on taking the holidays off,
Yeah.
then hey, take the holidays off. If you plan on taking June, July, and August, take that off. I like what Perry Belcher said in one of his programs I studied, and it was like a vacation should be 3 weeks. The first week is getting out of where you've been for the whole year. The second week is getting ready to go on vacation. The third week is the actual vacation. You know,
That's so cool.
if you go away for 10 days, I used to go on cruises all the time because I didn't want to go to hotels because I always went to hotels. I lived in hotels. I spent like, hundreds and hundreds of days. I think I counted once, I spent well over a year in Marriott's combined. And
Wow, man.
yeah, I knew that company in and out. And I went on cruises. And a 10-day cruise was like great because I was away from everything. I was disconnected. But like the first 3 or 4 days were just okay. I'm not flying all over the world. I'm not doing this. And then the next few days, and it was like the last 4 or 5 days was actually the vacation because you don't just shut down and go on vacation. And yeah, I encourage all of us that are in the entrepreneurial space to plan that. It's so vitally important.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, why don't we switch gears and try to get I wanted to talk a little bit today about the desire and the emotion. I got a whole bunch of notes here that I pulled up just to reference. We probably won't go through all of them, but just to give some context to it is, in marketing, because I know a lot of people are looking at marketing messages, copywriting, and that's one of our superpowers, you and I. So I figured let's talk a little bit about that and and help everyone understand the true meanings, because I get asked not a lot, but when we talk about this, it's what's the difference between an emotional words or and desire, like what's the real difference. So that's what I want to focus on today. um and I'll start by saying this is that in marketing or copywriting, whatever you're doing, you are speaking to the emotion and you're selling to the desire. So we speak to the emotion and we'll sell to the desire. And um we talked, was it last week we talked about the drill bit in the hole?
Yeah, we were talking about that last week, that we're not selling the actual. Yeah. No, we talked about it 2 weeks ago, but we alluded to it again last week. So
Right.
we've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. You're not buying the drill, you're not really buying the hole, but you're buying the satisfaction of what you did and sitting there and looking at your trophies and the do different and the books and everything that you were able to put up there because you accomplished it, because you were able to buy the drill bit to make the hole, to hang the thing up, to put the thing up.
Yeah, and
So
so it's like their desire really is is that they want to feel safe and respected. Like that's what they're looking for. They All of the other stuff is, it's the emotional. The desire is I want to feel safe and respected, but the emotional piece is, you're feeling uncomfortable because your place is a mess or your books are all over the ground or whatever, and you know that's the difference here. So I want to go actually give you a couple of examples here for my notes of an emotion, like a feeling, and then a desire, what they really want, and maybe you can bounce in.
before we do that, we do different is up, I believe, higher, and there's some boxes on the shelf below it that haven't been there. Can you speak to those, Joey?
uh let me just go into
There-
my the
There's
thing.
some things there on the second shelf below we do different.
Oh, you're
What?
talking about the little pop thingies, those
Yeah.
little. They've been there forever, bro. You just haven't seen them. And
Well,
because you know why? I'm sitting down today. Usually I'm standing up in my desk, and
okay, that's why we do different looks higher today.
yeah, it's usually, yeah. So
Got it.
yeah,
Okay.
those pop things have been there forever. Yeah.
I just haven't seen them because you've
Right.
always. Oh,
By the way, right there behind my mic, where is it here? This one? Yeah. So there's Barney Rubble. Where is it? That's Barney Rubble. And the other one is Fred Flintstone. But there, when they did the Cocoa Puff thing,
yeah.
and those are like classic. They're icons. I'm a kid when it comes to this stuff.
I do that, and I just wanted to, because that's the first time I've seen them or we've seen them.
Oh, okay, cool.
You just see my whiteboards and desks move around all the time. That's here. Okay,
Thank you
so
for noticing that, by the way.
yeah, we're talking about desire and emotion,
It,
Joey.
there's my desire. There's my emotion to be still a kid.
So you want to still be a kid. You talk about it all the time, like your Christmas tree, your Charlie Brown Christmas
Yeah,
tree.
can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. That's like over here, right over here.
That's over there. Yeah, that's over your right shoulder. So yeah,
Yeah, it's right over there. My Charlie Brown Christmas tree. That's the amount of decoration that I do. My wife is amazing at decorating, and like it takes me like a second to decorate. Well, I'm done. So, all right. Here's an emotion, and anybody, if you feels that, like, if you want to know whatever words you're using in your marketing, throw them into the chat as well, and we'll help you through this too. So I'll give you some examples here. An emotion is feeling confident. I hear this one all the time. Uh, I'll help you feel more confident, right? But what's the desire? What's the thing that they really want? This one is a classic one, and for anybody listening, maybe you put it in for yourself. What is the thing that they really want? And if you're working with Scott on copy, the one of I don't know, what would you ask them? I'm not going to tell people what you would ask. I'll let you talk about it.
keep going, Joey. You're doing fine.
I would think that you would ask them, okay, what does confident mean to them?
Does
Like, right?
confidence mean? And show. You know, what's the picture of confidence? What does a person look like when they're confident? What's the situation? And once they're confident, how do they feel because they're confident? And what does that look like? And what's the next step in it? And as a result of being confident, what happens? So
Yeah. So it's like the desire is, if you're writing notes, it would be the desire is what they really want. What do they really want? And the emotion is the feeling. And you and I have been talking about emotions for 3 years now,
yeah,
and it's important. And even sometimes I don't go further into like, what do they really want here? And this is why it's so important to be, in my mind, focused on one dream client. Just, just focusing in on doing that for almost ever until you hit $1 million in revenue, because you get to know them so well, and you go beyond what those surface level words are, even though they're important, like confident. So confident in the context might be starting your own business. It might be going to ask for a raise. So that's what confidence means. You're feeling confident, but the desire is, you don't want to feel confident. You want to ask for a raise. You
Right.
want to start a business.
You want to feel confident so that you can achieve something with that confidence. It's not just, hey, I'm confident. Okay, great. Well, now you're confident. What are you going to do with that confidence? And then, like you said, is it asking for a raise? Is it going out and getting a job? Is it asking for a sale? Is it starting a business? It's the confidence starts there, but it's what's it going to do?
Right. Here's another one. Financially free. I want to feel financially free.
Right.
That's a
Well,
feeling.
tell me what that means to be financially free. What does it look like? And when you're financially free, what are you going to be doing? Because just saying I want to be, financial freedom. Well, okay, what does that mean? How much does it mean? And when you have that, then what are you doing? Where are you? How does that now feel to be financially free? Then what are you going to do? How are you going to live? What's life? What's your purpose then? What are you going to give back? What's your mission then? Then you get into the life purpose stuff and the mission stuff and all that. It's not about being financially free, because that's
No.
just about words.
Yeah, and so to bring the context in, exactly what you said. So a financially free might mean, well, now I have more money to give. Now I have more money to save for my future. They're not against the wall every single month trying to pay bills or whatever. So, and that's one of the reasons for me, like, I had to even get into that mindset of money, which was like, I don't really want to make a lot of money. But then it was like, no, I wouldn't want to make a lot of money because I want to be able to give. So it's not really being financially free, but it's more about, I want to make a boatload of money because I want to be able to give. So the
Right.
feeling of, wow, I'm making a lot of money that makes me feel great is not the thing I want.
No, because that in itself doesn't make you feel good.
Well, it might make me feel good that I'm making a whole bunch of money. But then it's allowing me to do the desire that I truly want, which is to give. And, it's just, that's what I really, really want. If it was talking about money, feeling
Yeah,
healthy, there's another one. So what is feeling healthy? Living
exactly.
longer, avoiding disease, being stronger.
Yeah, moving about in space and time in a way that just feels amazing, and wearing clothes that fit well, and you walk about and it's like, God, I feel good today, and I can accomplish things, and I can go do things most people can't do.
Right. Um, Here's another example. Accomplished. So there's another emotion. You feel accomplished. I'm going to help you feel more accomplished. So what does accomplished mean? Examples here: being popular, getting praise from others. See how
Right.
it's going deeper. So I want to
Yeah.
feel accomplished, and I'm recognized. People are seeing and that's what they really want.
Yeah. They want to, be respected, they want to be admired, they want to have status. And
Hmm.
that's what it comes to, is they want to feel important. People want to feel important. They want to feel appreciated, loved, admired. That's what accomplished leads to.
I'd love to hear from you if you're watching this right now and you have some words that you are using or you're wondering about in your marketing, or people have told you before, and to see if your message is clear, and we can help you get a little bit clearer on what that desire truly is. So just
And
put
if
that
you're
into the chat.
watching live, hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. And if you haven't joined the Heart Centered Marketing Club, Joey will put the link up. It's one of the most amazing places to come and get support, and with heart centered people and a tribe of amazing people who you won't feel alone, and you'll feel cared for and loved. See, that's all the emotions and the desire. You know, you come and join a heart centered group. Why? Feel supported. Why? So you can succeed, so you can share your struggles with other people, so that you can feel part of a group, because we all want to feel part of a group, and we want to feel wanted and loved and part of. That's where it goes to. So there.
Thank you for that, Scott.
Hey, no worries. That's why we're here, is to serve people. That's why we show up every Tuesday night, is to serve people and transform lives, because we love doing it. That's
Exactly
why.
right. Yep. We're talking today about the difference between an emotion and a desire. And if you're just joining us, you are in marketing, you speak to the emotion and you sell the desire. So it's not that we're not telling you to not use emotional words. I think you need to use emotional words, but then you're not selling that emotion. And that's
Yeah,
where the confusion lies.
yeah. You need to go behind it. What does that emotion represent? What does it create from that? And Joey, I'm going to do a shameless plug for one of your programs. When you did your Oomba, and for those that don't know what it
Oh,
was,
we haven't talked about that in a long time. What Oomba? Yeah.
when you and I were talking, whatever it was, 2.5, 3 years ago, and you were just this, and you're like, I think I want to like do a little cohort on writing copy, and I'll call it Right Marketing Copy. And you just pulled it out of your butt, which is an out of my butt offer Oomba. Forever I'll get to say I was the first one that as soon as you came out with it, I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Here's the money. Let me get in it. And I took it, and it was amazing. As a copywriter who has studied everything and everybody, we don't have to go through the names because it's so long. But going back to the beginning of the greats and the legends, back from the 40s, 50s, 60s, up until today, the continues, the Bond Halberts, sons of Gary Alberts, and the Bensavengas and the Schwartzes and the Kennedys, and the list could go on all night. And I loved it. And the reason I'm talking about it is we spent about 3 hours the other night. You were sharing your irrationally passionate Notion program, which it is amazing. And you're like, bro, look, you can do this, 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 and this. And I'm like,
I brought you into my world and like just here it
it was like,
is.
oh my God, a peek into the mind of Joey Ramona. It was pretty scary. It was kind of like what Vulcan mind meld would be with Spock, and just we spent hours, and I was going through the transcripts of the shows, and I was looking at the copy and the questions, and what really, really stood out to me was that copy bank piece. And I did it, but it was just so powerful what you talk about with the copy bank, and it leads into the desire and emotion, because that's where you find this information, is the research and building a copy bank. And what I really liked, what I read multiple times that people didn't understand, was you get all of your research into a document, whether it's from Amazon or blogs or Facebook groups or YouTube or anywhere where your dream client in training is talking about their struggles, their pains, their desires, their future, their emotions and desires. And you just copy and throw all this stuff into this one document. And then that becomes the root document. You don't change it. And then you start another one, and you start color coding and chopping and this and that, and you keep going. And that's what I saw that you do so brilliantly, among so many things, was when we were like, okay, I'm going to copy this over here, but it came from here. So if I ever need to know where it came from, here's the root of where it came from.
Right.
And it's incredibly powerful to do that. And anybody that's watching, that's listening, I encourage you to put down the desires and emotions and the things that we learn and find, and have them in one place. And as you said, Joey, when you work with one dream client until you hit $1 million, you get to know their desires and emotions so well that it would be very difficult for anybody else in the space to compete with you.
Yeah, and thank you for that, by the way. Uh and we got to do another we got to do another right marketing copy
Yeah,
workshop, man. And
yeah,
yeah, it's got to come up. And but to that point, to the point of the copy bank, and also to the point of like understanding your dream client, you get to a point like now that I'm to a point where I could basically like here's a really cool concept. I got to flush this one out too. It just came to my brain now that I as though like I'm their AI. Like, you know what I mean? I could predict what they're going to say before they even say it and actually write it all out. Now, they're not 100%, but pretty close because there's always something like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I've never heard that before. But when you get to that point, it's an amazing feeling. And you only do that by what you're saying is going in and studying and watching and reading and copying everything they're saying into one doc, reading through it, analyzing it, everything that we talk about in right marketing copy, and you just begin to see patterns. You begin to see the same things again and again and again. And once you can predict it, it's like I know them so well that they before even better than they know themselves. That's when your messaging becomes more powerful. And then you learn these little things we're talking about, the subtleties between emotional and desire. And then you can go into the copy bank or even if from your own brain and say, I know what that means. I know what it means to be, they want to feel sexy. I know what sexy means.
Right.
Sexy means they want to be able to walk in front of a mirror without feeling embarrassed or being embarrassed or not to turn away from the mirror. They want to get back into the dating scene. That's what sexy means to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
well,
beyond the word. Like, what do you
they,
want? I just want to feel sexy again. You're like, okay, cool, and you start putting that in, but that's not what they really truly want.
no, it's like that is they want to be able to walk
Oh,
into
I
a place.
lost you.
You lost me.
I did.
That's weird.
I don't know if
I'm
anybody
still.
else can hear. Did you hear
I
me? Did I
I
turn
can hear.
something off?
I can hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Hmm, okay. I
And
just lost the audio for some reason on you. Does anybody else hear Scott? I can hear. Okay, so whoever, thanks, Scott. Can you hear Scott? Because I lost him. Did I do something on this end to lose his audio? You might have to come back in again, Scott. The joy of live streaming and all that fun stuff.
okay, how about
Yeah, I
now?
still don't hear you, man. It might need another reboot. Hang on a minute. Uh Hang on, bro. Do I have virtual? I see you coming in on. Can you say something so I can see the levels?
Yeah, I've done nothing
Yeah, I do
different.
see you. It's you know what? It's not you, man. It's gonna be Ecamm.
Yeah.
It's totally gonna be Ecamm. So give me 1 second, and let me see if I can switch something here. So are y'all, and I'm gonna switch inputs and switch back. See if that works. Anything, Scott?
I can hear you.
Nope.
How about
You can still
you?
hear me, but we can't hear you for some reason. Oh, really? So I can't hear him. Okay, so they okay, Peter, thank you for letting me know. Because I can't hear him, but apparently they can hear you. That is so odd, man.
They
Okay,
can hear me, but you can't.
okay, give me a second. So now that I know that, it's because it's going to be on my side with the headphones. Let me just switch my headphones and go to my other speakers. Okay. I can hear you. Scott, I think he froze. Oh no. Okay, there we go.
How about now?
Okay, I can hear you now. You're coming through my Mac, so I'll just take off my headphones. So
Okay.
that is so odd, bro.
Now I'm okay. Yeah, now I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's funny. You're freezing a little bit as
Echo.
well.
Yeah, it's got to be. Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn off Wi-Fi, see if that pulls in. See what happens.
How about now?
I got you.
Okay. Yeah, you're a little delayed, but it's
I
okay.
don't know what's going on, man. Like, let's say, all right, well, we'll have to deal with it
Hey,
because it's a live stream and
we,
bandwidth.
we've we've had a pretty successful run of 140 what some odd weeks without we've I don't do this, but I'll knock on my wooden desk. We've like never lost. I don't think we've ever lost a show. Like we've had some technical difficulties, so we've been real lucky with technology,
We have, yeah, for
and
sure, for sure.
we're spoiled also because
It's all good, man. It's all good. We'll deal with it. All right. Um, where were we? We were talking about the desire. I think the last thing I was talking about was like someone feeling sexy and getting back into the dating world because that's what they really want. They don't want to feel sexy. Um,
yep.
so I have a couple of points here that maybe I can share where the desire is usually something that people want, and there's four different areas. There's a desire is, and I'll give you some examples of this too, but people want to gain something, they want to be something, they want to save something, or they want to do something. That's what a desire is. So if you can frame those and say, well, what do they, if you're asking yourself, uh like to go further into whatever it is you're using, like the word, like feeling confident. Okay, then ask those four questions. Here they are again. They want to feel confident. Okay, what do they want to gain from feeling confident? And you don't have to have them all answered. If you can, that'd be amazing. But what do they want to gain from being confident? What do they want to be, or who do they want to be from feeling confident? What do they want to save from feeling confident? And I'm just using confident as an example. And what do they want to do from feeling confident? So a desire to gain, anything on that before I give some examples of what a gain is?
What is that formula that you just gave, Joey? Those four questions for desire.
It's not really a formula. I think it was from one of the 100 copywriting books that I read.
What I want to know. It's a quiz. Where'd you find it? I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
You
know where.
don't know. Ding 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 ding. I
Yeah,
get a point.
I don't know. Don't forget I'm piecing together all of the random data that I've got, and then it will be ask me another year from now. Then I'll be able to say this is exactly came from this
No, you won't, because in a year from now, you will have read 50 more books and you'll have that backlog to get into Notion to this and that.
Oh my gosh.
Ending cycle. I called a buddy of mine today and he goes, I'm reading the pumpkin plan. It's like, yes.
Nice, man.
Yeah. He's in the construction business and he's really talented. So uh, anyway, I digress. Let's get back to I love those four questions. Is once you know the desire is, what do they want to gain? What do they want to be, or who do they want to be? What do they want to save, and what do they want to do? You don't have to ask all four, but if you ask them and get the answers, it's going to take you to the next level of what really the emotion is behind it that you need to talk about. And as you said, when you do this enough times, you hear it enough that you already know what they're going to say in advance. And when you say it, they're like, oh, how did you know what I was thinking? That's amazing. Well, because that's what we do. But if every week we try something different and go after a different audience or a new niche, or we want to serve everybody, that ain't going to work,
Yep.
because you'll never be able to. That's one of the probably the biggest things I think you and I hear at the beginning of any conversation with somebody new is, I can help everybody. My thing will help everybody. Well, you can't. There's 7 billion people. We can't help them all. It's not possible.
Right.
No, I don't care. I don't care if you think you sell air. You still would not be able to serve 7 billion people.
Right.
A few of them are like, I don't want air. I don't.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of a morbid thing, but it's like, yeah,
It
it's true.
is. It
Yeah.
is. Oh, my product or service can help everybody. No, it can't. It has to help. You know, Roy Williams, Wizard of Ads, talks about it. He doesn't totally agree with niching to the fullest degree, but it's who are you going to help with this thing? And it's not. We used to talk in the old days about, well, how old and demographics and psychographics and define that person exactly. Well, no, it's the person in that situation. Do we need to figure out that person like you, Bob Michaels? When I
I
talked to
haven't seen
him,
him in a while.
yeah, it's been a while since Bob's appeared on the show. And but I used Bob Michaels as kind of who I was talking to, even though Barb Michaels was there and they were younger, but for the most part, everybody knew who I was talking to and can say, "Oh, I know who you're talking about." But if we just talk to everybody, then you're not going to know who you're talking about because it's too broad. And when we go this deep in the desire and emotion, and we really figure out what we're doing, it's just so much easier to write copy. And I'll put that in air quotes because you don't need to be a expert copywriting dude. You
No,
just
no, and it's so true because I mean, I'm looking at cheat notes right now, and I have my cheat notes up all the time when I'm writing copy, all the time, and I'm always adding to it, and that's my own documents of my dream clients. Like, what are their desires or what are their emotional words? And I call them high value phrases, words and phrases, high value words and phrases. What are those? And use those always in my copy. So I don't start out with a blank piece of paper or blank screen. It's like, well, what's the message and what do I want to say to them? And then if it's a blanket word like confident, then I want to go into and hopefully have a deeper meaning of what that is. So I want to give a couple of ideas just for anybody listening to what a gain is. So here's my cheat notes. So what do people want to gain? What they want to gain stuff like health, time, money, popularity. They want to gain popularity. They want to gain security. Pride of accomplishment is another one. Leisure, self confidence. These are the things that they want to gain. There's a couple more, but I just wanted to move on. So that's what we're talking about. Like how deep do you want to go in terms of what they truly want to gain out of this? What do they want to be? Any ideas, Scott, on what they want to be? What
in
comes to
what
mind? Anything?
in what context?
Well, from whatever it is, I want to be something. I don't want okay,
Well, let's start with I want to be successful. Okay, which is just the starting point. Well, what does being successful means? Being successful means building a business, being an entrepreneur, being respected and admired by others because you were able to do it. Being
yeah.
successful is overcoming the barriers and struggles to get to the other side that people look up to you and come and ask you for your advice now. That's what being successful is.
Yep. And so I'll give you some context of this. So I'm just throwing it into the fire. So want to be good parents. They want to be sociable and hospitable. That's what they want. They want to be up to date. Like for me, that's one thing that I want. Like Notion, I want to be up to date,
Right.
right? It's not that I want Notion. I want to be up to date. I want to be able to find and efficient. I want to be efficient.
Why do you want to be up to date and efficient?
Yeah, but that's going further. What I really want is so I can help other people, right? So I want to be able to be efficient. I want to have up to date with all of my with the softwares and stuff. I just like speed technology. That's the reason why I like it. It's not because of the actual program, but it's more
No,
about being efficient. That's
but
really
you
what I want to be.
just said that you want to be up to date, you want to be efficient so you can more easily help people.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to be able to acknowledge or find the information when I need it. So I
Right.
want to also be so if I'm thinking about it, I also want to be less stressed because I
Yeah.
get stressed when I know I've got something and I can't find it,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen it.
right? So it's like I just want to be less stressed. So
Yeah.
that's an example of what I want, what people want to be. Another one would be they want to save. This one's easy. What do they want to save? I'll throw you in the fire again. What do people want to save?
Time. It's
Yeah,
another point for me if you're keeping track. That's 2-0.
yeah,
Uh, People
yeah,
want to save time. Why do they want to save time? Because that's all. We all have the same amount of time. Nobody has anything extra or less. And if we could save time and do something more efficiently, then we can do the other things we really want to do because we don't have to spend time doing this. So the more efficient we become in doing something, saving us time, I want to save time doing this. When I first was making videos, my first video was an 18-minute video. It took me 200 hours. Okay. Now I could throw a video together in an hour or two. And that's more efficient, saving me time because what do I want the video to do? Writing
right,
copy. When I first started learning how to write copy, it took forever. Now I can write copy in a couple of days.
right.
Hire sales letter. But in the beginning, it took a long time because now it's like, okay, I know all the steps I need to go through. When you and I unpacked Brand Pincytic, the 3-minute rule, we spent hours and hours to be able to write a quick one. Okay. All the little formulas, the hypnotic copywriting formula by Joe Vitale, we went and did that. All the little things, the AIDA formula, all the things when you first do it, it's like, God, this is where you do it a bunch of times. And then it's like, okay, I got to write something. I got to write an email. I need a subject line. Boom. Let me write the copy and let me pull a subject line out of the copy because
Hmm.
that's what I had to do. Let me tell a story here. Let me have an opening loop here. And, is this going to be a soap opera sequence? By the way, a soap opera sequence, for anybody that doesn't know, it's you refer to something coming or you're going to talk about something and it's like, oops, I forgot to talk about that because I need to talk about this, but tomorrow I'll tell you about that thing. And that's, you get them interested in wanting to read what's next
Yeah,
rather than, hey, I got this thing for sale, come buy it. Up.
yeah. It's an ongoing campaign, like a through line of story that continues to go. Soap operas never end. You
Yeah.
think it's ending, they close one loop, they open up another one, or open up a couple of them.
And then
Um,
in the soap opera sequence, there's little mini sequences that come out of it. Because it's like you're in here, then you can go down a little rabbit hole here and go in a different direction. So it's like stuff you love to do.
right. Uh, so let me give some other context to the saving. So there's time, obviously, there's money. Everybody wants to save that. Here's some things that you may not have thought about. I'm just generally speaking to everyone here, and that is discomfort. They want to save discomfort. They want to save worry, doubts, risks is another one, personal embarrassment. So you can go as far as you want to. Is like, what do they truly want to save? Well, personal embarrassment. If you are overweight and you're embarrassed going out into the public, that's what I'm going to help you save.
Yeah.
Uh,
Another thing with Save Joey is risk in status.
yeah,
People,
risks. So yeah, risks can mean anything, but yeah, risks in status as well for sure. Yeah,
yeah.
money risks, risks in status and popularity. Yeah. The want to do. So here's an examples of want to do. They want to express their personalities. They want to do. They want to satisfy their curiosity. What do they want to do? They want to emulate the admirable. They want to appreciate beauty, acquire or collect things. That's another way. So, like, I'm going to help you be financially free, so you can now go collect all the things that you've always wanted to collect, and have no worries about buying it all. All your
Exactly.
little toys that are sitting on the shelf.
Barney Rubbles and Fred
Yeah,
Flintstones,
yeah,
all things without having to even think about it.
yeah, exactly. Um, and what do they want to do? They want to win others' affection. These are just examples of how we can go deep into the desire and the emotions of what this all is. So I would, if I were you and listening to this, and if you're wanting to write better copy, I would answer these questions or fill them in, which is, my dream clients want to gain. What do they want to gain? And my dream clients want to be this. And my dream clients want to do this thing. My dream clients want to save. If you can fill in all of those, you're well on your way, probably 90% better than your competition, because they're not going to do this work. Your thoughts, Scott?
I would was just, I like that you added that. You're absolutely right. If you can just add that, we went from, what do they want to be, save, do, gain, to my dream client wants to. And you're going to find that language. They're going to tell you what it is. You don't ask them what it is, because if you ask somebody something, they won't tell you. They'll tell you what you think you want to hear. But when you read what they say in response to, that's just something I want to caution people about, is you don't just go out and say, well, tell me what you want to gain, because then they'll be like, I
Yeah.
want to gain this. They'll make it up. It's kind of like when they have done studies with, like, tomato soups or coffees or this. And if they don't tell them what it is, but if they say, well, this is the expensive one and this is the cheap one, which one do you like better? They'll say, I like the expensive one better, even though the expensive one is the cheap one, because they're telling you what you think you want to hear.
Yeah. And that brings up a point here where even to start this exercise, because you're absolutely right that if you go in and say, so what is it that you want to gain? That's not how you do this. You're right, Scott. It's it's reading between the lines. So if you go in, that's why I love the digital world, because I can be in my own little my own little place and kind of spy on what's happening and all the threads and what's going on, and reading those things and looking. So here's what I would suggest if you're going to do this exercise. It's to do two lists. The first list is a list of the emotion words. So go in and whatever thread you're like reading or anything like that, make a list of the emotional words that you hear or read that your dream clients are using. That's the first list. Then the second list would be connecting those words to the desire. What does this word truly mean? And you're not guessing, you're looking for clues now. So I'm like a detective. I love that. Here's everything that they're using. Has anybody defined what, confidence actually means? What does it mean to them? And I have these lists. I have them because I get these all the time. You know this. And they'll say, well, I want to, I want to launch in the new year. Okay. That's a feeling, I guess, or like, what does that mean? Or I want to be better at marketing. Like these things, I'm looking for more of an explanation of what that truly means. So this is an exercise that I encourage you to do because it'll make your marketing so much better. And when you want to start copywriting, it's all there for you. This
Yeah.
is what we're trying to get through.
That
The,
I want to reinforce that, Joey. You and I have spent years and tens of thousands of dollars in books and courses and programs, and written thousands and thousands of sales letters and emails and copy. This is about not having to spend all that time, saving you time so that you can go out and market by just doing what you're talking about. It's not difficult.
right. And anybody can do it, really. And then if you have a couple of guidance frameworks or templates or something like that, then it's easier to fill those things in terms of copywriting, right? Because
Yeah.
even I have trouble filling those things in if I didn't have a source to go to say, because then it's all from my brain, and I don't want my brain to do any of that working. I want my brain to do other things. I don't want to
It,
have to hold all the information in and remember it all.
yeah.
Go back to the doc and then bring that stuff over and say, this is exactly what they're saying. So that's
Well,
the difference between desire, and emotion. Like I said at the top of the hour, so if you're here watching us, let us know by putting a hashtag live or a hashtag replay, depending on when you're watching this. And there's two there's two things we're talking about. One is an emotion, which you're speaking to the emotion in all your marketing, but you're selling to the desire. And if you don't understand what that desire is, you're going to have a very difficult time selling. And we talked about this too, Scott. We haven't talked about this today, but maybe we should have talked about it more. Was that the desire? Like, truthfully, we've said before that you can't install a desire into somebody.
no, no, it has to be there.
Yeah, and but that's why this is so important what we're talking about today, because the emotional piece has already been out there a lot. I've heard even people say, "I get it." You talk, let's be more emotional in my copy and everything else, but they don't understand the desire of their client enough, and they're wondering why they can't make the sale.
Yeah.
I'm doing all this emotional stuff. Yeah, but you're not selling the desire, you're trying to sell the emotion.
Yep.
Any thoughts there?
No, it's you said it pretty much there. I mean, that's it, is, you know, yeah.
Thank you, Grace. Thanks for this great suggestions. I look forward to rewatching from the beginning. Yeah, thank you, Grace. Thank you for being here live, and thank you, Peter. Thank you for being here live. Collie, I think, was here or still here. Thank you for being here. It's amazing. We are at the top of another hour. Man, I can't believe it. Coming to the end of a of a new another year and 148 episodes, my friend. Wow. Thank you for being here, man. I love you for being here. Thank you for all of the support, love, and guidance and insight and all of the stuff. It's been an amazing ride so far. It's so great. So I honor you, and I know that everybody loves and respects you for everything that you do.
Thank you, bro. Same to you.
All right. We will see you next week. Same bat channel, same bat time for Marketing Made Easy. Have an amazing, amazing Tuesday night.